Alright guys, welcome back. Ohio 2A Patriot. I'm kind of up here in my extra bedroom where I got a bunch of stuff just up here. I got some firearms up here and I got a lot of other stuff kind of just stored up here. So I figured I'd do, and one, I've done a couple of videos and it's gone way a long time ago. And this one I picked up, actually it was a gun store slash consignment place. It was a gun store, but they did a lot of consignment stuff. So at one point when I was doing a lot of bird hunts, obviously when my dog was a lot younger, he's almost 13 years old now. I was doing a lot of bird hunts, and I would go to Walmart and looking at ammo, and I'd always see a really good array and a good selection of 16 gauge. 6 shot, 7.5 shot, whatever. And it was always a pretty good deal. But I didn't have a 16 gauge shotgun at the time. So I wanted to find one. And I was talking to one of my buddies. And he says, hey, I know where there's one at. Go to this place. I think it was called Triple L or something like that. It was a gun shop, but they had a lot of guns that were there in consignment for sale. Plus, he had a lot of reloading stuff, which is one of the main reasons why I ever went in there. So I went there the next day. And they had this. So this is a Stevens Model 311. This is probably one of the cleanest Stevens Model 311s I think I've ever seen. I've had a few of these over the years. Now I've had ones that were made by Springfield. I think I had one. It's like a 3100, I think. I still had this one. I've also had another, and I think the other one, Springfield, was a 16 gauge as well. But I also had a 20 gauge in one, something like this too, and I think it might have been the same model, if I remember right, way back in the day. And I think I had picked up a 12 gauge that was another brand that was similar to this one, and I don't remember what it was. But this is this thing has almost no wear on it. I don't know how well the light will pick it up, but you could still see all the case colors, almost all of them on the receiver are still there. There's a little bit of wear on it, but I actually talked to the original owner when I went to put a down payment on this gun. The original owner actually came into the shop the next time I was in there. I went to pay some money on it. The original owner actually showed up there while I was there, and I got to talk to him about it. So this is the case colors on the receiver. There's a tiny bit of wear, on just the edges, barely. It's very nice. It does have. It looks like it's got a couple little tiny rust spots on it now. I haven't had this thing out in a while, but the barrels are perfect. I believe this is full modified fixed chokes, double triggers, obviously the regular manual safety. It opens up, it's got just regular ejectors, which all these guns had back in the day, which isn't a big deal. And I immediately, after I got this, I picked this gun up on a Saturday. I think I made 3 payments on it. I picked it up on a Saturday, and I went on a bird hunt with my dog on a Sunday, and I think I shot 4 or 5 birds with this thing. I don't know. Maybe even 6, I don't remember. But I got almost all my birds with my dog. It was a timed hunt, so it was like a dog trial hunt. And I got them all with this gun, no problem. I had to shoot a little bit. It seemed like I had to shoot a little bit high versus where the bead is. It seemed like it wanted to shoot a little high. I noticed that after the first shot. But yeah, this thing is sweet. And I got this thing for a song. Literally, I don't remember exactly what I paid for it, but I think it was maybe just a hair over 300 enchiladas. Yeah, the stock's got a couple tiny little dings on it from where probably in closets and whatnot. It was you could easily sand that and refinish the stock and the thing would be perfect. But everything works perfectly. I've never had any issues with this thing working. It's just a solid survivor, I guess is what you would call it, with how nice it is. So a little bit about the story. So I went to go get this thing. Not to go get it, but to make a payment on it. And I went up there, and the guy that owned it originally had came in right around the same time, right after I got there. And the guy that ran the place says, hey, this is the guy that's buying the shotgun or whatever. So I'm like, I started talking to him. And I told the story before, but of course that's all gone now because it's on my old channel. But the guy was telling me, I think he bought this in 1961. Brand new at a hardware store up in Michigan. He was on leave from the military and he was up in Michigan and he wanted, go hunting or whatever. So he bought this at, I don't remember what hardware store it was. Bought it brand new, went hunting with it probably a handful of times. And then he decided he wanted to get a 12 gauge. I think he said it was about 10 years later because this is a 60-ish, 61, 62. I think he said he got it in 61, so it's prior to that. There's actually a date stamp. It's a number or a letter with a circle around it on the receiver itself. And I did look at that. I think it was made in 1960. So he ended up getting a 12 gauge that was made in like the early 70s after he had already had this a while. And he actually had that one for sale too, which I found out later, and I didn't have the money to get it, but he did actually have that gun. It's basically the same gun, but it was a little different because it was 10 years newer. He actually had that gun for sale up there as well, and I didn't even know about it till after I had picked this up and had it for a while, and I already had a couple other double barrels, so I probably should have got it, but this one here I'm glad I got because this is way nice for what it is. And the other one was actually, from what I remember seeing, I think I looked at it once. And it was actually really nice too. Like it looked like it had been pretty much in the box. New in the box for most of its life. But he probably used it a few times, I'm sure. But yeah. So he actually, when I went to pick this up, after I talked to him, the guy that owned this originally, after I talked to him that day when I was there, I left and he left and whatever. And I guess at some point before I went and picked it up, he had brought the guy that owned the shop, he had brought me a gallon Ziploc bag full of old 16 gauge ammo that I guess he had at his house from years ago. And there was all kinds of cool stuff in there. There was a lot of old like number 5 and number 6 shot shells that had the sticker on the end. They had the crimp, but they also had a paper sticker on the end to tell you what it was. A lot of that. There was a lot of 6s. There was some 5s in there, and there was a lot of like 7.5s and some 8s in there too. So it was kind of a mixture. There's probably about maybe 50 rounds in there. I want to say there was something else in there as well, but I don't remember what it was now. Actually, I'm not even sure what happened to that bag. It was in a big Ziploc bag, and I held onto it for a long time, and I'm sure I still have it someplace. I just don't know exactly where I put it. But yeah, this is probably one of the guns that I have that has one of the cooler stories like that. I have to talk to the original owner who bought it new, who hunted with it, had it for probably, when I bought it, it was probably, I've had this thing for probably almost 10 years now, probably at least 7 or 8 years. So who knows how he had it back since the 61, I guess. So that's a pretty long time. And the thing is like brand new still. And I'm surprised it didn't have more, maybe a little bit of rust spots on it or whatever. Who knows how long it sat in a closet or wherever he kept it. I don't even know. He didn't really tell me where he kept it at in his house or anything, but it is in very awesome condition. And it's unmolested too. There's like nothing been done to it. The butt plate here is still original. The wood is in really good shape for what it is. The finish on the receiver is the main thing. You try to find one of these things with this kind of case color still on it at a gun show, you're going to pay way more than what I paid for this. And of course I got this years ago, but even if you went now, I haven't been to a gun show in probably 4 or 5 years, but I'm sure if you found one of these things that's in this condition, you're probably going to pay some money for it, I'm sure. And I don't have I don't have any plans on selling this thing at all, but I'm just saying if you were to find one of these now, it would be a lot of money versus what I paid for it, 8 years ago or whatever it was. 7, 8 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, I forget exactly when I bought it. But yeah, this thing is super solid. And I've done some videos on it. I have shot it in a couple of videos too, which I do shoot it. I'm not on a regular basis. I haven't shot it in probably 5 years, but 3 or 4 years anyway. But I have hunted with it. It shoots good. I just got to remember to aim a little higher than normal with the bead. But yeah, this thing, it functions fine. It shoots good. I've only shot low brass, 6 low, number 6 shot or whatever out of it. Nothing crazy. Yeah, some of it might have been high brass. I don't remember for sure. But it's nothing crazy. I'm not shooting, number 4 shot. With, you can't, obviously you're not going to be shooting 3-inch shells out of this thing. I believe it's 2 3/4. It should be. Yeah, 2 3/4 inch chamber. Forged steel, so it's not Damascus barrels or nothing, which by this time they had long did away with those. But yeah, so it's just a cool old gun. I've had it for a while, and I want to do another video on it because I have not talked about this thing in probably a while. And it's just really cool and solid and just works. So, but yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed that for sure. I know I enjoyed looking at it again. I haven't looked at this thing in a while. It's been up here in the closet up here. So, anyways, guys, give me a thumbs up. Check out my other channel if you want, Treetop Garage, and definitely subscribe if you haven't done that yet, because that's a big thing for the channel. It helps. And leave a comment. I always answer all the comments. It might take me a day or two. Sometimes when I put a video out, I don't comment right away, because that way I'm going back every probably 30-40 minutes and answering a comment. I'll just wait until they all come in over a day or two, and I'll answer them all after like a day or two. So if I don't see your comment right away, that's why. But yeah. So give me a thumbs up, like I said, and comment, and so definitely subscribe. And this is day number 9. I'll do one more tomorrow. And then, yeah, that'll be it for that, I think. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. Have a good night. Thank you.